to make it more efficient. And we are also using Ajax, which is the functionality offered by jQuery for communicating the data with backend. See, whenever I submit this, it should also save it in the database. So for that, we are going to use jQuery. So let's go to jQuery CDN. So we just want jQuery. So jQuery. So here we have got jQuery, and minified version will take, and we'll paste it right before JavaScript like this. So we have got jQuery, and so here we can see script where we are going to write the JavaScript. Okay. So the basic agenda is to add a form, submit the form, and add the to do. So here we have this div, and I'm going to add a form tag here. And we wanted to submit this form to add this data into the database. So let's use this button. We'll type submit. As we are using a form now, we have to specify this button is a submit button. And here we'll just make one ID. ID is basically to do form, and here we are going to trigger one function. See, when we submit this form, there are multiple event listeners here. In JavaScript, we can use this. So let's say in button we can add on click like this. So instead of form, we can use button to take the inputs. But I'm going to use on submit. So on click, on submits, these are like multiple other event listeners. On change, it will apply when we type something, and on blur, it will apply something when we click outside of the div. So similarly, there are like multiple event listeners. Most commonly, we use on change, on click, and on submit. So let's say on submit, add underscore to do. So this function we are going to write in JavaScript now. On submit, add to do. So add to do function is getting called when I submit the form. So this event listener is saying when I submit the form, it is calling add to do function, and we are going to add that function right here. So function add to do, and let's do alert here, adding just to test whether it's working or not. Let's see here. Once we submit, it will first ask. Okay, now let's also open the terminal like this, and developer console should be opened while we are working with JavaScript. So, so it says adding right here. We can see that. So if I don't add any to do, like if I just say, it will say like please fill this field. Why? Because I have made it required. So to do should not be empty. So once we add it, it's loading the page like this. So basically we don't want it to load. So we can say here we can write event event, and then event dot prevent default, and then return false. This one is used when we submit the form. We don't want the page to reload. We just want to quickly show the to do right here. So the easy version of doing the same stuff with the jQuery is we just take the ID from form. So here we have got the form ID, and in JavaScript we have seen like document.getElement by ID, document.getElement by ID, and then inner HTML, or we use document object model, right? So the similar way we use hash and then ID. So this statement, it's similar to document.getElement by ID to do form dot submit function. So it's a shortcut basically. It's doing the same stuff in in much better way. So here we will just say return false, and here we say alert adding. So if we reload now, we can see if I just say test and if I add it, it says adding, but it's not reloading the page. That's what we wanted to do. And we can remove on submit, add to do then. So I generally follow the same step in each and every project I did. So form ID and then dot submit and then return false. And here I write my Ajax also. Here I'll write my Ajax, which is sending the data to database where it is saving it into the database, and even if we reload the page, it will be still there. So what I do generally, I make a template like this. So we can see we have a static, a sample to do already created. So what we can do now is we can create a function, add to do, which will add this to do to this div. So here I'll make it a parent div and I'll make it one ID. So here, let's say to do underscore list. This is the to do list, and I'm going to add a function here, function add to do, and here we are going to append to this particular to-do list. So let's use document object model here, document dot get element by id, document dot get element by id, and then we are going to add to-do list. So this is the id, and we are going to use inner html plus or equal to it will add some more content to the existing one. So if I just say equal to, it will overwrite the existing content and add the only HTML we are adding right now. So I have copied the whole div, and you can see I'm just saying inner HTML plus or equal to here. And here I'm using backticks for a purpose. I'll just show you. Here we have got the to do, and so I'll just show you right now when I add something here. I have to call this to do when I submit the form. So to do is now getting called. So now let's try again. So here I'll say test, and so here we can see to do one has got added because we have that static already written here. See, we have to do one written here. But what if we wanted to make it dynamic, and whatever title we are passing as a parameter, let's say title here, and I'll I'll replace this with title. So the benefit of using backticks is, see, I have used backtick here, and whenever I wanted to add any dynamic variable instead of static, written title, I wanted to pass a parameter to this function while I'm calling. Let's say here I'll say test to do, and this is just a parameter I'm passing, and I'm using that variable using dollar curly brace to show in a card. So see here, if I just add something and if I click on add, it's adding test to do because I'm calling add to do function and I'm passing test to do. It's taking the parameter as a title and it is showing up here in this place. So hope it's clear to you. And I'll just do one more time. I'll just add. See, now if I add more and more time, it's not appending the card. So it's simply overriding. So for that, we need to use plus and equal to. And that's what we want. Just so if I just add more and more content now, it's appending, and we can see it's appending to the existing content. And we should have some margin at the top and bottom of this card. So my2. So at y-axis, my is margin top and bottom. And here I'll just show you again. Here, if we add some more to-do list, so here we have got it. So now, whatever title I am passing, I want to use that title. Instead of test to do, I want to pass whatever user has in the input. So instead of writing to do like this, what I'll say, var title is equals to document dot get element by id. Let's say title input dot value. So we are having one input here. Let's give this id. So for this input, we are going to use id is equals to title so that we can access the content of it in the JavaScript. So title input dot value will take whatever user has typed. So let's try again. I'll do add like play. Okay, and see now it's getting whatever I'm writing, right? See, basically now whatever to do I'm writing, it's showing up the same card over there. And but the time is still static. So let's use the same strategy or the process and then make it dynamic. So id is equals to whatever user input we are taking. It can be accessed in JavaScript using id or classes or tag name. So I'm just giving date input, And similarly, we are going to add time input. And I'll also pass these two variables along with this. So where date underscore time is equal to, I'm going to pass it uh, at the same time. So I'm going to concatenate those two values like this, plus and some space before that, and then here. So the first one is date input and the second one is time input. So date and time I'm passing at the same time. And instead of using today at 8 p.m., I'll just say dollar curly brace date time here, and I'll use this parameter in the function. So now while I'm calling this function, I'm passing two parameters. One is add to do, and one is title and date time. Then we can access these two parameters here. So let's try again. Here I'll say play soccer, and I'll just add date and then time. So here we have got the date and time as well. So later on, using JavaScript, we can convert this date time format to something much efficient to understand. Let's say 4 hours left, or let's say like due in 3 days. So whatever time left, we can show it in that way. But right now we are saving the date and time and title, which is completely dynamic. And as you can see, once we submit the card, it should clear this form. So I'm going to clear the form, and see, it should empty these inputs, right? So for that, I'm going to use form.reset. So here, document dot get element by ID, this particular form, then reset. So it will reset the form once we add that to the card. So let's say play soccer. I have added in card, and now we can see the form is empty once we add it. So that's great. And if we delete this, if we click on this one, it should delete the to do, right? So for that, I have two different processes. Like one is we reference to the parent element. See this one is delete item, and when we click on it, what we can do is this dot parent is this div, and then dot parent, and then dot parent. Like if we go 3 steps above, we can get the whole card and we can remove it. So I'll just show you. I'll just give it one. I'll just use this class, bar trash. So generally we don't use the same class. Let's say delete item like this. So when we click on delete item, it will trigger something. So I'll say here I'll say on click delete. So delete to do we are going to call, and here we are going to pass one ID. See, each and every to do card should be associated with the ID. So there are two ways, as I said, like we can reference to the parent element, and we can reference the parent element with the ID as well. So here we'll say to do count. Let's add one to do count where in the global page, like whenever we wanted to assign some unique ID, we can also have to do count is equals to 0. And let's start with 1. And I'm going to give it one ID. Let's say here I'll use ID is equals to do underscore to do count. So it will be like to do 1, to do 2, to do 3, like that. And whenever I'm adding any to do, I'll just say count plus or equal to 1. So the ID will be dynamically updating. So that's the reason I have used it. And I'll pass this here as well. So I'll say count here. And when I click on this button, it will alert that ID. So below add to do, I'll also add remove delete to do function delete to do. And we are getting one ID which to do we wanted to delete. So I'll just do alert ID. So let's try now. Here we have got one to do, and if I hover and show you, it has got ID is equals to do 1. And if I say again, like if I add another to do, it has a different ID. So here you can see to do 1 and to do 2. These are like dynamic IDs we are assigning. And if I wanted to delete one of this, see if I click on this, it says 1, or maybe let's check what happened to it. unexpected end of input. So it means there is some error in the code. So unexpected end of the input. So by default, when we click on it, it is showing us the unexpected number. So what we can do is we can use double quotation here. So basically, single quotation outside and single quotation inside. It's terminating the string or some. There is like conflict with that. So now if I click on delete, it's showing that one. That is this is to do one. And what I can do is simply using that count, I am now able to remove it. So for removing that card uh, from the page, we can use sudo plus id. So this is like sudo underscore one dot remove. Using jQuery, we are able to remove it very easily. And I can add sudo as well as I can remove it. So it seems awesome now. And before removing, I wanted to basically use fade out. It's not quickly removing, but it's going in an animated way. So if I just use its fade out is basically one built-in function in jQuery where we can animate hide and fade out effect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delay this process of removing. Later on, once the animation is completed, it can remove. So there are some other animations as well, like we can see slide up or slide down. So when I click on it, it will be going in an animated way. So if I click on it, so you can see like it was getting animated, right? So uh, something different than the basic one. So here we have product. And so if I add more to do, it will be even more better. So, so now if I delete this, so we can see it's going in an animated way. So just the one line of code. So with this now we have got the function where we are adding and deleting. And here I'm going to write my Ajax function, which will also delete it from the database. So when we submit the form, it is adding to the database, and when we deleting also, it's removing from the database, right? And there is another edit icon. So if you click on it, edit icon, it should take up. It should show that the form again. If we submit, it should. Uh, so what we can do for editing is we can create another form for editing, or we can use the same form for editing. But to keep it very simple, I'm going to remove this edit functionality. Let's focus like on one functionality at a time. And let's see here. Now we are able to add it and delete it, right? So I don't want to make it complex for you. And the main agenda of this project is to understand the process flow, how we are communicating with the backend and database. So right now we are done with a front end part where we are able to add and remove the task. And now we are going to the back end part. As I said, we are going to basically develop the front end first, then back end, and then database. So it's now time to integrate the Flask. So let's start with the Flask backend.